Soybean futures continue to trend higher on Thursday, while cattle also found their way back to the positive side of things. AgDay's Michelle Rook has more on what we're watching as we finish the trading week in markets now.
Grains ending mixed on Thursday. Livestock to the plus side. John Heinberg is in with analysis. We did have a nice pop in soybeans on Thursday, John, pushed by soybean oil and some biofuels news, right?
Yeah, that was probably the biggest driver on Thursday's move was the fact that the EPA is going to come out with those blending requirements, and it sounds like they're going to hold to kind of the forecast that we had back, in the fall in that regard. Now, realistically, the move in soybean oil on Thursday just kind of got back to where we were at the November, December highs before we realized that they were going to push these deadlines back a little bit. So we'll have to see if there's some additional follow through buying as we go through the end of the week here into next week, but at least kind of get that risk off the table in this regard.
Yeah, and we also got a good export number, didn't we, on beans?
Yeah, that was a really solid week in terms of bean sales, over 2 million metric tons for the week. And China obviously was very active in the soybean market. Then on top of that, you get a nice round of announced daily sales on Thursday morning as well.
Disappointing day on Thursday in the corn market. Did we hit resistance, or was this the record Argentina corn estimate?
I think it's a combination of the two coming at us here. Obviously, we're still trying to digest the potential supply pictures out there, even though demand continues to stay fairly strong. Solid week of export sales, especially for that week of the year, was the largest on record, I believe. And at the same time, a couple announced sales too, as well for corn, obviously taking advantage of the price break here from Monday's report. But we ran into that 425 resistance on that March contract again, and then we finished at the bottom of the range on Thursday. Just kind of gives you a kind of weak feeling in terms of how things could go as we go into the end of the week in that regard. So this 420 area seems to always be a bit of a swing point.
And cattle market back up on Thursday, making new highs for the move in the feeders. We're not even into the tightest supplies yet, John. So are we going to hit the old highs?
At least I think cash market's still going to be the biggest dictator of that as we get into this kind of a tight supply window that's been forecasted for a while. I think trade on Friday and into the early next week will all be tied to where the cash market comes together, which is still relatively quiet.
You bet. That is John Heinberg with Total Farm Marketing and Markets Now.